The cooler your grandfather swore was indestructible is sitting in a museum display right now, while the company that made it builds the new ones to fall apart. That's not an accident. It's a business model. Walk down any camping aisle. Most of the names you trust are not owned by campers anymore. They belong to a handful of conglomerates and private equity firms, and the playbook never changes. First, buy the beloved name. Then move the factory overseas, gut the warranty, and sell you worse gear at the same price while the logo coasts on a name it did not earn. These are 6 camping brands that sold out and got worse after the buyout. We count them down to the saddest one. Then we look at the brands still run by their founders, and we finish with 4 tells that spot a hollowed-out brand before you waste your money. That indestructible steel cooler your grandfather swore by is sitting in a museum display right now, while the company that made it builds the new ones to fall apart. Most trusted outdoor names do not belong to campers anymore. They are owned by massive conglomerates and private equity firms. The playbook is simple. Buy a beloved logo, move the factories overseas, gut the warranties, and sell worse gear at the same price. These are 6 camping brands that sold out and got worse, counted down to the saddest one. Subscribe now because we're also sharing the few founder-run brands left, and 4 tells that spot a hollowed-out brand before you spend a dime. Number 6 is The North Face. Long before VF Corporation bought the brand, it earned its reputation on actual mountaineering expeditions. But under corporate management, technical integrity took a backseat to high-margin streetwear. Today, you are far more likely to spot that half-dome logo on a crowded city sidewalk than a mountain summit. You pay a premium price, but you are mostly buying a fashion label. To be fair, they still make decent tents and sleeping bags, which is why they only sit at number 6. This is an identity slippage, not a total product collapse. But the next brand did not just drift. It completely forgot what it was. Number 5. Stanley. Your grandfather probably had one of those heavy hammer-tone green steel vacuum bottles. That century-old reputation survived construction sites and literal decades of abuse on hunting and fishing trips because the company designed it to be indestructible. But then corporate parent PMI took over, spotted a gold mine on social media, and shifted focus to pastel tumblers that people literally fight over in Target aisles. When a brand built on rugged reliability chases what is hot online, reliability is the first thing out the door. It is a flashy, hype-driven shift that works great for corporate stockholders. But the next brand's quiet downfall stings longtime backcountry campers even more. Number 4 is Sierra Designs. Launched in 1965, these founders built real backpacking credibility by pioneering lightweight tents and early Gore-Tex innovation. But then private equity passed them to XL Outdoors. Today, a brand that once meant backcountry survival sits on Walmart shelves next to licensed Hello Kitty and Disney day packs, while their own leadership admitted they stopped leading. This is the midpoint of our list, where the pattern becomes clear. A founder builds something great. A holding company buys the name, and the soul quietly leaves. But as cheap as this shift feels, the next 2 entries hurt even more. They were the giants we all trusted. Coming to the top 3, Marmot is a painful case of prestige collapse. Started in 1974 by mountain-obsessed college kids, Marmot was a technical pioneer that helped put Gore-Tex on the map. But then Newell Brands, the giant behind Sharpie and Rubbermaid, took control in 2016. Today, industry insiders openly call Marmot a zombie brand. Sourcing moved to Asian factories, and high-end technical gear was pushed onto discount racks. Instead of fixing the rotting product line, the new owner spent millions on a botched Super Bowl ad featuring a cartoon mascot. Remember the name Newell? because this same owner is waiting for us at number 1. In second place, Eddie Bauer is a name that once meant something real. This brand patented the first quilted-down jacket in 1940, built gear for the 1963 American Everest expedition, and even had ties with NASA. But then the private equity vultures circled. Eddie Bauer got passed around like a cheap token, loaded with hundreds of millions in debt, while owners extracted cash and ran the brand straight into the ground. They turned a legendary mountain outfitter into a tired mall outlet, running perpetual 40% off sales just to keep the lights on. It gets worse. By 2026, Eddie Bauer hit Chapter 11 again, starting liquidation sales to close every single store in North America. Think about that. A brand that literally dressed the men who conquered Everest is being stripped for parts, ending its run as a sad liquidation sign in a dead mall. But as bad as this collapse feels, believe it or not, even this is not the saddest sellout on our list. And finally, in first place, Coleman. This is the biggest betrayal of all, because for over a century, that green lantern meant American camping. Your family passed down those old steel-belted coolers, and those heavy stoves lasted generations. But then Newell Brands took over in a massive $13 billion deal, turning Coleman into just another corporate asset, alongside Sharpie and Yankee Candle. The consequences were swift. They shut down the Sauk Rapids plant in 2021, wiping out 175 local jobs. Almost all their manufacturing moved overseas. Today, most Coleman gear is cheap, disposable stuff made in China, to the point where vintage Coleman is now prized collector's gear. Try calling customer service for a replacement part now. They will likely tell you your gear is obsolete and send you elsewhere because they do not support legacy products anymore. There is not a single Coleman left in charge. The most trusted name in American camping is now just a logo stamped on disposable products. It is a brand hollowed out by corporate owners, setting up a harsh contrast with the few independent brands that refuse to walk into this trap. Next, we have a practical filter to protect your wallet before you spend another dime: the 4 Buyout Tells. First, check who owns it. If a private equity firm or a giant holding company bought the logo, the decay has started. Second, track the factory location. A quiet move to the cheapest offshore plant is a dead giveaway. Third, check the support. Shrunken warranties and discontinued replacement parts mean they want you to throw the gear away. Fourth, watch where it sells. When a premium brand floods discount racks with perpetual sales, the quality is gone. Additionally, some brands refuse to walk into the corporate trap. Look at Nemo, still run by its founder and dedicated to real innovation. Or Hilleberg, a family-owned Swedish tent maker since 1971 that refuses to compromise on quality. Big Agnes keeps its operation independent in Colorado, and Durston runs as a focused shop with the founder's own name on the line. These brands do not answer to a holding company or a board of private equity vultures. They answer to campers like you because they actually sleep in the tents they build. Every brand on this list followed the exact same corporate script. A founder builds gear that lasts, a conglomerate buys the name, and the quality decays while the logo coasts on borrowed trust. So the lesson is plain. Smart campers buy the company, not just the badge. Which brand broke your heart? Next time, we are exposing the premium camping brands secretly built in the same factories as the cheap department store stuff. This channel follows the specs, not the sponsors. Subscribe. Across these 6 brands, the pattern is clear. When corporate giants buy legacy gear, they trade lifetime durability for quarterly margins. Which buyout hurt your closet the most? Next, we are finding the survival gear still worth your money, because this channel follows the specs, not the sponsors. Subscribe to make sure you do not miss it.